Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. How you guys doing? It's 7:11 a.m. and I just did not wear my hat as usual. I am. I'm out here. Been up for a few hours, and kind of walk around a little bit here. This video is about something that's been bugging me. Okay, been bugging me for a while, but I just didn't want to. But I just didn't bring it up in time. Now we all know that right around the time when Apple and Google uh, inserted the encryption after Apple brought out the um, iOS 8.0. Now, here's the big kicker. Okay, now we all know that the reason that they did it was to battle the FBI, which is a good thing because to to really block the FBI from entering the back door of someone's phone, okay, of someone's device. I have an Android device that is still at 8.1 or 8.0, while Apple went from went from iOS 8 to all the way to iOS 12.2 point whatever, which increases the encryption and everything else, which kind of good because you want to update your software on your device, whether it's a iPhone or tablet. By the way, now I think that when you look at the two companies, Apple and Google, both are very good tech companies, but with a few flaws. To be honest, like if you look at the call it the five of the companies that they follow, like Fusion. I mean, companies like Apple and Google and Yahoo and Verizon, AT&T, and everything else, and it's makes you want to ask the question on why did they lie? Okay, did Apple lie about the encryption? I don't know. Do I believe them? I don't know, but I do believe, like Google, can come up with some pretty good uh, products, but it still makes you want to think. Now, Google used to use the Google uses the motto "Don't be evil" from Doctor Evil from Austin Powers, but it got wondering why did Tim Cook all of a sudden turn face? Steve Jobs wouldn't have done that, but if he did, it would be done by force. You had you you've had the NSA threaten these tech companies into going along with spying on you, the consumer. The consumer. So why were they forced to comply? Because see the government is not so friendly. You would have NSA, FBI, and CIA putting pressure to these tech companies over the years. Microsoft kind of tried to not give in. Yahoo the same way. Apple the same way. But the thing is, when you have the big three, NSA, FBI, and CIA, they could threaten your company by doing things that they probably wouldn't imagine. You know, they could fuck up sales on the product. They could do all kinds of things because they want their hands on the service. Now Microsoft is going back and pulling the same shit years ago. Okay, for example, I bought a desktop computer nearly a decade ago. It was a Dell with a fat-ass monitor, not a flat screen monitor, but it ran Windows XP, and I was using Internet Explorer, which is not secure and shit. This is when I started to learn about Mozilla Firefox, and now I didn't know anything at the time about we call it Safari. Knew nothing of Safari at the time. Safari's a browser. I like Safari. It's pretty good Safari, but I don't use it on my iPhone. But at the time, I was starting to use Firefox. You know, Firefox, and I had a problem. I had a problem with my computer. I called Microsoft, and they asked me, "What browser do I use?" I said I use Mozilla Firefox, and they're like, "No! You gotta use our stuff. So you gotta go back and use Internet Explorer." I said, "Well, it ain't secure." Is it secure? No, it's not, because everything you do is recorded big time. Told them that, and I want to have a secure browser, but I can surf the internet and not get, whatever. But they had a bitch fit, and said, "Well, fuck it." So after a while, I quit using it because they had a problem with someone like myself using Firefox. Oh, you got to use our stuff. Fuck you. So after a while, I started to understand that, when I was hooking up my D-Link router, some chick told me, check out Chrome, Google Chrome. I thought, okay, well, I'll check it out. Liked it. Didn't know that if you use Chrome enough, that Google would place all the information on your Google account. Wow, holy shit. So I really started to understand technology more through the more I go on. So around the time, I didn't know anything about the iPhone, but people had them, people used them, and it was a big craze. Like, yeah, I got this iPhone, it's pretty cool, and everything else. It was at the time when people started to really rob people of their phones. Like, I ain't got the money, so I'm gonna take yours. Well, shit. People have their iPhones ripped off and shit like that, and everything else, and what the fuck, Because the iPhone was completely different. Different from BlackBerry, different from Nokia, different from Motorola. And the iPhone was kind of a phone that you would love to have, but the technology is, they didn't have the encryption that it has now. Okay, my daily driver is a HTC U11 Life. I like it. The reason I like Apple is because they're kind of I like Apple for two reasons. One, a lot of people use it because of the encryption and the tools it has that you can use, and plus it's closed off. It's closed off. Now, Apple makes their own laptops, desktops, iPhones, iPads, but the iPod, why they quit making the iPod is beyond me. I like the iPod. It's pretty cool, pretty good, pretty good, and I think that when you realize technology of Apple, you kind of feel like, wow, if Steve Jobs would look at it, if he was alive now, look how far Apple has gone. But if he realized of what Tim Cook did, Tim Cook would be fired in a heartbeat. Depends, though. But when you look at, I mean, on Apple, iPhone, you can download any browser, and any type of VPN, it works well. It works well. But some VPNs would overpower your phone when it comes to browser you use. Like there's certain browsers that I used before that I couldn't really do anything because of the VPN that I used. There are VPNs that you use on your device, say Apple or Android or Windows, that can really fuck up your system of your phone. Now, don't get me wrong, Apple's a good company, okay, worth $20 and shit. And I mean, if you really want a good challenge, I mean, there's people that bought a phone last year, okay, and I've heard people say, well, I'm gonna go get another phone. Why? You got the one last year, still updates, the Apple software updates every so often, but it's updates and shit. But Google, holy crap. I mean, if your phone is at an 8 something, then update to a 9, whatever, something's wrong there. Something is fucking wrong. Okay? Something is fucking wrong. But the thing is, you want to ask the question. Well, the title is "Why Did Apple Lie?" But I should put, "Why Did Silicon Valley Lie?" I'll probably edit the title here pretty soon. But all three companies have changed. Microsoft is going back to kicking off any browser. Okay, but on my two laptops I use Google Chrome on one of them, but I quit using it. I use Tor or Firefox or DuckDuckGo. Now on an Apple device, you can use DuckDuckGo, integrate it with any browser. You use Tor, you use Firefox, and any variety of Firefox, from Firefox Focus, Nightly, WaterFox, even Tor. But now, the one thing that does piss me off about Silicon Valley, I'm going to continue with Apple here. Don't get me wrong, the iPhone's pretty good. It's pretty good. But if you're a CEO like Tim Cook of Apple, you should keep your word, because even though you let Big Brother into your back door, you're basically like Yahoo, Microsoft, okay, other companies like that. A tech company can go as far as try to push back, but when it comes to how the government, how the entities can really push and push and push, Steve Jobs would push back. Steve Jobs was a stubborn son of a bitch, but the guy knew. The guy knew about, if you bring a company out, Big Brother is going to come in and knock at your door and say, look, we want a piece. Not a stock ownership, we want a piece of the data. Okay, a piece of the data. Companies like Silent Circle and Geekphone. Building the Black Phone. The Black Phone should have gotten more credibility, more fan base, because when you look at the Black Phone, it's a modified Android device, private OS, which is a pretty good operating system. I have one. But what the phone is that when you try to, the only thing you can do is download the Amazon App Store and the Amazon Play Store. Is that you couldn't download the Google Play Store because Google wouldn't allow that. So what's the alternative? The Amazon App Store. And what's cool about it is that you can download apps like AimSict. AimSict it's a better version than SnoopSnitch. The SnoopSnitch, you gotta pay to have any further detection of the MC catcher and shit, the Stingray bullshit. Now, Apple should have known this. Okay? Apple should have allowed SnoopSnitch or AimSict. Okay? Because they knew that your device, whether it's an iPhone or not, it will leech onto something that think it's a cell tower, which is a fat box in someone's truck or car. And we all know that the Stingray is in quite a bit of police cruisers. And not just undercover, but police officers have that in their car too, because all you gotta do is just hit the switch, boom. You got recording of a call log, text log, and emails and shit. It's all cataloged with your name on it, in your face, and whatever you want to call it. Now, Apple needs to wake up, okay? Apple, if Steve Jobs was alive today, he would put out a cryptic tweet or an email to the users of his device that he sells, the product, given the people to download certain apps like AimSict or SnoopSnitch. And I mean, if you want, I mean, there's no app like that on the Apple device or App Store, which is kind of chick shit, because look, law enforcement is going to use a MC catcher, a Stingray, right? So now, Apple, again, is a good company. They have pretty good products. I have an iPhone SE, which I've had since for the last 3 years. I haven't used it in 2 or a year, because I think that we need to look at what can you do? I mean, iOS 8 started all the encryption and shit. The FBI has about up to 25 devices they can't break because people encrypted their phones. Now, how many devices of Android that the FBI have that they couldn't break, couldn't crack? because people are turning their cell phones, their smartphones, into Fort Knox. And the encryption is basically like Fort Knox. And you ask yourself, you know, the one thing that pissed me off about Tim Cook is that he promises to protect your data, your information, but why did he hand over Roger Stone's iCloud account? The fucker lied. If he lied about protecting your information and your data, he lied. If he could hand over Roger Stone's iCloud account, he lied. He lied. Okay? My name is Grandmaster Evan. I'm the founder of the Anonymous Liberty Media. If you're new to this channel, please leave a like, subscribe, comment below, and don't forget to hit the bell for notification. And if you got this transmission, again, you are part of the resistance. Knowledge is free. And if you ain't down with that, we got 3 words for you. Go fuck yourself. Peace out. I'm Revan.